How you doing? This is KLB3131 coming back at you guys again with step 2 on how to get a black woman. What I want you guys to understand is that these videos come with love. So the picture that you see here is of me and my mother. What I want people to understand is when we make these videos, when we are belittling and we begin to berate our black women, we are talking about someone's future mother, if not current mother, someone's daughter, someone's sister, someone's aunt. We are not just necessarily speaking of that black woman, we are speaking of their family. So I think we need to actually tone down the harshness of the message, because that same woman to whom you can speak about might be in your family. Now, I know my mother, to whom you see here, is to me the ideal woman. Amongst any flaws that she and I may always joke about that she has, she's still the pillar of strength to me, and the reason why I am able to sit here and speak with sense to you. Now, what I want to ask the brothers to whom make the derogatory videos, would you share these videos and these views with your mother? And maybe if you would say no to that, maybe you should go back to where your raising came from and talk to her. Because I'm sure if she was able to see these things that you say, she would be able to adjust your point of view. Now, let's go into what I'm saying about step 2. Step 2 continues off of step 1. Step 1 was to get a black woman. First thing you have to do is set your pride aside. Not pride in the definition of justifiable self-respect, but pride in the level of conceit. Later on, I'll show you what I mean exactly by conceit. Again, with step 2. Step 2 is renewing your mind. And I'm going to start step 2 by asking the brothers a question to whom may be listening. Are you perfect? And if your answer is no, or matter of fact, maybe don't even answer it right now, just think about it. Do you feel that you're perfect? And if you don't, then please listen up. This is a small piece that a black woman wrote to a black man, and it gives no names, but listen to the piece. To the man who loves me, I'm beginning to get the impression that you are judging me when you look me over from head to toe, and as you listen intently when I'm speaking to you, or as you so carefully check out the things I do and how I do them. I'm wondering if you're looking to see if I measure up, and I'm wondering what it is that I have to measure up to. I think that this is important because what the woman feels like she has to measure up to is only what is in your mind, black man, what is in your head, your vision. Now, we can look at vision as the definition. If you go to your Merriam-Webster dictionary and look at vision, definition 5, the act or power of seeing, sight, something seen, a lovely sight. Or we can look at it as television, which is T-E-L-E, tele being a Greek word of distant, and then you add vision to it. Now, when you add tele in front of vision, this is what you get, television, a system for transmitting images and sounds by converting them into electrical or radio waves, which are converted back into images and sounds by receivers. So what I want you guys to do is notice the 2 definitions. Definition 1, the act or power of seeing, sight, something seen, a lovely sight, which is vision, and then television, a system of transmitting images and sounds by converting them into electrical or radio waves, which are converted back into images and sounds by receivers. The problem that we have as black men is that we operate looking at our women in television, a distant vision. Let's think of it as your television set that you watch at home. There are many different components that have to operate properly before you can get the clear image on your screen. And then even when you get the clear image on your screen, you still get an instruction manual to tell you how to get it clearer. Matter of fact, if you have HD TV, you even have to get a box to make the TV work to make your images even clearer. So many pieces have to go into this puzzle to make sure that your vision comes across to you clear with your TV, that if one piece is off, your whole image is distorted. And what I want you to understand, black man, is that dealing with your black woman, you cannot operate in a television because there's so many pieces inside of you that need to work to make sure you have the proper vision, that if one is off, now your image and your expectations are distorted. And most of all, you have to understand the major one component for us, our electrical surge, is our spirit. So if your spirit is wrong, you're not even getting the juice to be able to put your expectations and vision of a woman in HD. You can't have high definition of expectations and high definition of image of a woman if you aren't getting the proper surge or the amount of energy to operate this. So you got to look into, once again, your spirit and understand what operates you. Now, continuing on. What I'm trying to explain here is that, man, you already have the ideal woman in your head. You know what she looks like. You know what she sounds like. You know what makes her laugh. You know what makes her cry. You know how she looks in her clothes. But the problem here is you have never met this woman. You have expectations of a woman to whom you never met, but these expectations come from seeds planted in you from when you were born. When you came out your mother, you weren't pre-genetically disposed to understand what you wanted in a woman. Life has geared those expectations, those emotions, those feelings of love, those feelings of anger, those feelings of hate, those feelings of frustration, all have geared what your expectations of a woman. And here's the problem with that. The women that you meet aren't based on these expectations. They are based on expectations that they have of themselves. The fantasy woman that lives in you, in your head, is exactly that, based in your head from seeds planted in your life. That tells you what beauty really is. So what you must do is change your expectations, because if you don't, you'll never meet the woman of your dreams, because she's just that, a woman of your dreams. She's a fantasy. She exists to no one but you. Now, you have to have a reality check on what you expect, especially from a black woman, because you're not going to find anyone who's going to measure up to those expectations, because no one is perfect. Taking you back to my initial question, black man, are you perfect? Because the woman in your head is perfect even amongst her flaws. Matter of fact, the woman who's in your head, whose idea for you, doesn't even have the flaws. You know what her hair looks like. You know what her eyes look like. You know what her smile looks like. She doesn't have the flaws because she's not real. So what you have to do before I cut this video off and start part 2B is you first have to have real expectations, because with unrealistic expectations, things happen. Thing number, you set yourself up for much disappointment. For number 2, the women on you are at risk for pain and rejection, which explains the trials and tribulations of our community. Because too many black men had unrealistic expectations for their black women, and then in turn, these women now deal with pain and rejection from you or from a previous man. And now we have these problems facing us back in our face when we come to the next woman, because she's dealt with a man who had high expectations that she did not know of and could not live up to because she was never informed. So I'm going to stop this one and go into part 2. I just want to make sure I can get this on to YouTube. So please come into part 2. Thank you.